Hey everybody, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So hold on, you guys. I'm playing with the lighting because I don't want any glare on here when I show you what I've got to show you. Let's talk about this. Okay, so as of right now, what is going on in California is going to affect the entirety of the United States. I can say that with certainty. I've been doing some research on food cost, on fuel cost, on everything, folks. As you pop on, hit the like button, drop over, tell me who you are, where you're watching from. I've got so much information to share with you guys, and I have exactly 30 minutes to do it. So let's get busy. First off, you're going to notice if you are in any states bordering California that produce, orange juice, nuts, and gas prices are fixing to skyrocket. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you guys made the live. How do I know that? One, because if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know that I have been sharing with you guys that America gets something like 80% of its greens from California. We also get natural gas and oil from California. California's got a lot of huge import areas along the coast where we bring in goods and services into our country. So, what's fixing to happen, Happy New Year, folks, is that America's going to feel the crunch. Also, there is proof that when a natural disaster or a wildfire happens in California, that people migrate out of the state quite a bit, like 20% of people. So what you're fixing to see is a huge amount of people leave, thousands leave California. And I'm going to tell you what areas they're most likely heading to. So what's going on in California is most definitely going to affect America. We're also going to deep dive the missing homeless people in California and everywhere else. I found some more information. So no more talking. Let's get into this. Also, to the people who had a problem with me discussing the missing homeless, that's how I feel about you. Because you know what? Those people deserve to be discussed. Something's wrong. All right. First, let's start with the cost of everything going up. Oh, maybe if I
fires. So they had to shut down the California gas pipeline. So our gas here in Nevada is going up by like $1.50. We finally got it down to like $3 after like 2 years, and now it's at like $4.50. We just went shopping to get some stuff for lunch today, and literally all the produce is gone. There was not a single carton of eggs. Certain juices were wiped out. Every single little bit of the lunch meat, all gone. And nope, no chicken tenders. This probably happened for a few reasons. Either all of that stuff that was missing come from California, so they're not going to be able to send anything over here at the moment, or because everyone here is literally buying it all in bulk because they know, because of the fires in California, all the stuff, all the food that they usually get from California is either not going to be here for a while, or it's going to be like jacked up in prices just like the gas did. And this store was packed with people, which is really unheard of for being like a Saturday, like before like 4:30. And everyone was like pissed off. Like, oh my God, the food's gone. Everyone's taking all the food. It's because of the California fires. I'm like, bro, I'm so sorry you're not getting your sourdough bread right now. But homegirl lost her house. Like, she has nothing to go home to. Calm down.
All right. So you're going to see that more and more. I've been telling you guys that. It can't stay like this. Our economy cannot continue to go the way that it is. The estimates for rebuilding California is over $1 trillion. The federal government gave them a blank check for the first 180 days. Now, is that going to fly when Trump gets in? I don't know. But I can tell you this, that before the Great Depression, there were some natural disasters and other such things that affected the economy. Now, what is going to happen to people and where are they going to move now that this fire has ravaged California? Are they coming to a town near you? Well, let's find out.
Today, as people paid respects to those who lost their lives. The mood was both celebratory and somber here in the town of Paradise, which boasted a population of more than 26,000 before the campfire. Now the number is closer to 9,300, the mayor says, but it is growing.
The population dropped from 26,000 to 9,000. That was in 2018. This was 18,000 structures. So let's just
Let me turn that down a bit more.
They're not all houses. There's some businesses there, but 18,000 houses. They lost.
Let me do that. That's a bit better.
Two-thirds of their population. What county is where it was? Look at the population change. The population after this fire, which was at the tail end of 2018, it tanked. You see it too in a line graph. It was 230,000 before the fire. Now it's 206, and it's just now starting to recover population. But it's not the only one. In 2017, it was the second most destructive fire. The Tubbs fire destroyed 5,600 structures in Napa and Sonoma counties. Sonoma County, end of 2017, we can see the population tanked. Why that's important is because you have a lot of people that, listen to this woman, even if she was frustrated with her county, even if she was frustrated with the politics and the direction of the state, you can tell that she would not leave the memories of her children growing up on that street, of growing up in her house, of watching her neighbors grow old together. I mean, these people, they've known each other for decades and decades and decades. They're going to move. And maybe they try to rebuild and go back, but if they do, it's not going to be the same. Now, let's say there's 10,000 houses that burned down, which is kind of the current estimate. There's 10,000 houses that burned down. I think 10 to 20% of them will move. And maybe a lot of them try to get back in or move in the surrounding areas, but 10 to 20% will probably move out of.
And where do you guys want to know that they moved to?
Based on where they've been searching. So this is the migration trend from Redfin, and it shows you that where people move from Los Angeles and where they go. And so people are leaving.
Sorry, it's why I turned it.
For San Diego, Las Vegas, Bakersfield, Phoenix, Nashville. Nashville is in the top 5 places that they go.
So Tennessee. A lot of you watch me from Tennessee. I know the light was bright. Sorry, Edby. Guys, I'll figure out eventually. I'm a farmer. I am not a computer guru. I do the best that I can. Now, moving on. If you live in Tennessee, get ready. You're fixing to see thousands of people pouring in to purchase land in your community. How do we know that? Because right now, thousands of California people are Googling best place to move. And the top 5 have them moving from the state of Washington all the way to Las Vegas and then across to Tennessee. So I started looking up, and guess what I found out about Tennessee? Right now, Tennessee sees its 8th highest 10-year increase in home prices. In other words, construction data and software companies have been examining market trends in construction and real estate. They have found Tennessee ranks 8th in the nation for the largest 10-year home price increase. So as they were analyzing U.S. housing and urban development data, what they found was U.S. home values have grown 95% over the past decade, while people's earnings have only increased by 44%. What does that mean? It means that an average house in Tennessee 10 years ago would have been $150,000, and today it's $350,000. Yeah. Yeah, somebody said in North Carolina on a dead-end road, rural area, a person from California just bought a home on my street. Of course they did. Of course they did, folks. They're going to move. They have to. So I was talking to you guys earlier about what's going on with the homeless people in California. This is very disturbing to me. Nobody's covering it. And I got a little pushback. People are like, oh, the homeless aren't in the rich areas that burned. Los Angeles burned. And that's where the majority of the homeless people are. I found an article that said that there were thousands of people homeless in Malibu. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know. But what I can tell you is, let me find it. We're just going to start with how many homeless people there were prior to the fire.
Oklahoma, and I've noticed an alarming trend. Our homeless are disappearing. I was out earlier a few days ago when I noticed unusual white vans all around town. These vans had no windows, no markings, and no license plate numbers on the back of them, and all driven by muscly 30-somethings, all with light passengers. Then I noticed a shopping cart abandoned on the major streets throughout town. Homeless people rely on those carts for survival and don't just walk away from them. That shopping cart remained there for more than a week. Where were the other people who would have came for that cart? My mother, who lives in Tulsa also, said she noticed the homeless disappearing. She helps them out by providing odd jobs, so she's concerned about their welfare. After about 2 weeks, she found one of the men who she helps and asked him about the homeless disappearing. He told her that the county offered a program that would allow them to take care of warrants with no additional penalties. He said that they sent vans around to pick them up, and seeing how much of our county jail is busting at the seams, she asked, where are they taking them? He said to a shelter on an Apache, north of town. He said this facility could hold up to 200 people. Kind of fishy to me. Even though this man is homeless, he was once a preacher, and he has his wits about him. I believe he's telling the facts, and he's worried about his friends, and so am I.
Somebody just asked me if I have an email. Best way to reach me, folks, go on Facebook. You can inbox me from there. That's the easiest way for me to do it right now. Now, I'm going to keep on this thread. Watch what I'm fixing to show you. It is mind-blowing.
Look, what I have found is a bunch of people claiming that these homeless people have simply just been moved. But there has not been any video evidence of this. I've also requested that we have an interview, at least a conversation with one of them about the event that happened that forced them into relocation. Let's get some clarity on what actually took place. But I haven't found either of these. And I'm trying. I'm digging. What I did find as a result is people who had family that were homeless in those areas cannot reach them via phone. They can't. It's going straight to voicemail or ringing through or completely disconnected. There's no communication at all. We have no trace whatsoever on these homeless people. Now, this is similar to what's going on with the children.
Okay, so let's keep going.
Yo, don't let them get you.
This happened where I'm from, in North Carolina. Y'all be careful. Never fall for this trap. If you see a white van, run and call the police immediately.
County police need help finding this white van. They say the driver is approaching young people in the
Yo.
All right.
Mount Hollywood, next to studio lots in the LA River, sits one of the city's fastest growing neighborhoods. Zoned for open space and commercial use these days, Forest Lawn Drive is almost entirely residential. Lorna and her dogs live in a parked RV on Forest Lawn. She moved here after what she described was the worst week of her life, sleeping on the streets during a winter storm after spiraling into homelessness. Her RV is one of 70 along this 2-mile-long corridor, 70 of an estimated 4,000 citywide.
I only paid $400 a month because it was a friend of a friend. You know, a lot of people pay a lot more than that. And I have an income. I just can't afford rent.
Have an income.
Yeah, I work full time.
Vanlords, as LA City Council member Tracy Park calls them, typically buy RVs at auction, then either drive or get them towed to their location of choice. They're often parked illegally or hooked up to rogue power systems and are in the wild west of rental agreements with neither landlord nor tenant protections.
A lot of times the inhabitants of the vehicle don't know the name of the person who they rented it from. They don't have valid contact information.
How do you find tenants?
Craigslist, Airbnb, word of mouth is probably the most common one.
He has bought and rented out RVs to the Unhoused for almost a decade. Says he owns.
Oh, thank you, Kent, for Ott. Thank you very much for the gift. God bless you. So he said, Sam, up the road from my area used to be hundreds of white vans that were supposed to go to California, and now they are gone. What's happening? folks. Miss Linda just said, I work for a building company in Franklin. I'm assuming you mean Louisiana. And we sold out a whole phase 2 quickly, and the prices nearly double because people are paying cash. Guys, this is not a joke what I'm showing you. This is extremely serious. Okay? Hey, Becca. She said, I hate these vans. Every time I pass them, I cringe.
Here, she shared a story, but it's so frustrating because you go to the comments and nobody has an attention span of 3 minutes to listen through it. I think she did a wonderful job telling the story, and I think it's important, and I think it needs to spread. So I'm going to try my best to say it as fast as I can so y'all can warn your family members that might be homeless living in the San Francisco area or the Bay Area. So long story short is they're running around in black and gray vans. One of her friends who is a vet was able to escape of what they're doing. So they picked them up with a whole bunch of other homeless people, and they promised them that they were going to give them shelter in Arizona, like a nice warm shelter. But on the way over there, they gave them drinks and food. And of course, the drinks and food had something. He fell asleep. So they got to a location, like a building, and something inside of him told him to pretend like he's still asleep or dead. But basically, the things he witnessed was they were just horrifying. He saw them basically getting rid of these people. Yeah, he heard and saw, things that he's like terrified. Somehow he managed to escape. But yeah, people's worst fear, because I think there was people were wondering where a lot of the homeless people were disappearing to. Well, this person that escaped said it.
Okay, so remember, in my video I did earlier today, not the live, the actual video where I said 200,000 people are missing in California. Folks, I didn't just make that number up. That's how many homeless people are supposedly in California. But then you have to remember there are illegal aliens coming in at the southern border every day into California. It's probably closer to 500,000, 500,000 people that just float all over California. And I told you guys that in New Mexico last year, white vans were picking people up and taking them to Arizona, supposedly for rehab. It was a scam. The FBI investigated it. It wasn't something Sam made up. It was something Sam stumbled across.
Los Angeles, that for the last few years, they've been putting homeless people on buses and shipping them out hours away to surrounding counties. It's still not enough. All the new major tech, entertainment, and social media companies want their headquarters in Los Angeles, around all the content creators, all the entertainers, celebrities, where everything is trendy. If you think these people who are homeless, losing their homes and businesses, is about to go back to that land and just rebuild and start their lives over, you're tripping. You don't know how it works. These insurance companies that are dropping them, they're successful because they do the same thing all big businesses do. That's one major company own multiple companies that own companies that own companies. So if they ever mess a bunch of people over or get into trouble, you only can sue that one company, not the major company. They'll just file for bankruptcy and you won't affect the CEO's money or none of that. But back on track to this land grab, they're going to start offering people checks, reminding them that they can just go get a new house, new car, new furniture, instead of waiting 5 to 7 years to go to court with these insurance companies to try to get them to pay you out for dropping you during hard times in a natural disaster. You think they're not going to take that check? Don't be silly. This is a land grab, and it's just happening right here in front of our eyes. I'm in Los Angeles.
It is a land grab. It absolutely is. Yes, Miss Linda, I do think that they do some really awful things to these homeless people. Absolutely do. Let's continue.
This might create a generation of people who are homeless or lower class, who may have fought their entire life to barely own land or barely have even the smallest house. I think everybody is very, noticeably and of course validly worried about what's happening now But in the future, you know how bad it is in 2020? How bad it was in 2024? Are you ready for 2025?
I don't know, guys. Are you ready for 2025?
The HUD's point-in-time count came out today showing the highest recorded population of homelessness nationwide. Looks like about 2/3 of our population here in California is unhoused. How do you respond to that given your...
Did you hear what she just said? 2/3 of our population here in California are unhoused. What? Nothing I could find could correlate to her statement, but he doesn't disagree with her as he continues talking. That's what I'm talking about. They can fib on their statistics and all of their numbers all they want. Hi, guys. So hit the like button for me, folks, so that more people will find this video and watch it. I will try to add as many of these videos as I can in description, but I find them everywhere. I spend hours a day digging around and basically vetting different videos for you guys.
Is unreal.
Yeah, definitely. And you were talking about that. And there you go. You go across the street and you just, right there. Those are the ones that you're talking about. Those are the seaside homes that are off of Malibu. And they're just, all of them just are gone. Just one after another, leveled. And of course, I'm also kind of wondering, I know this kind of goes down to another different rabbit hole, but, I've heard in the past that they weren't going to allow construction there anymore. And now that these homes are gone, are they never coming back? It's just more questions than answers right now. But you can see how they're total destruction. And then there's a group of homes that are just fine.
It doesn't make sense, right?
All the various communities. Of course,
So Malibu, just like Lahaina, the people who lived along the coastal line had businesses along the coast. Say goodbye. You're not going to be able to rebuild. That is the reality of what we're dealing with.
Population in California is low-key crazy. Like everywhere I'm walking, I see them
thank you, Maureen.
on almost every single point.
God bless you.
It kind of seems like everybody around here is just desensitized to it. Like it's kind of just like a part of everyday life. Now, I'm not going to show nobody on camera, but it's like I don't really know how to necessarily react to it because being from Chicago, of course, we have unhoused people, but not at this rate. You feel what I'm saying? It's cold, so they can't really be outside like that. But the craziest part to me is the amount of high-rise buildings and really nice buildings. That's literally right there, and then downstairs is where the unhoused people are.
He's right. It's mind-blowing to see how many unhoused people are in these large cities. Maureen, God bless you. Thank you so much for that. And I will, guys, I've been told y'all, I've been praying about it. I'm going to see where the Lord leads me, but I've got some opportunities to go to California. My flight is taken care of, and I can stay with some people who are on this YouTube channel for free. So I won't have to worry about, putting any people that need housing out. I'll be staying with friends from the YouTube channel. I'm praying about it because I'm very concerned about where are the homeless. I saw some videos and pictures of them literally taking the elderly out of the nursing home and lining them up on the streets in beds in the middle of a fire. I think that we need more people, boots on the ground in California, recording what is happening. So I will add for you guys, if you want to donate to that, if you feel led to, please do, because we were very successful with going to Maui. We actually help people pay people's mortgages in Maui. Oh, I just got a cramp in my foot because I'm too old to be on the ground. I am way too old to be on the ground, you guys. I'm trying to put in for you guys real quick for the ones of you who are patient. God bless you. That is Cash App that I just put in. And this one is Venmo. But if you want to help, feel free. what I'll probably be doing is, like I said, I'm praying about it. I need to talk to my friend. She put the one that paid for our tickets to the last trip to Maui, and she met us there. Lisa, the one that, unfortunately, you guys, she had like a stroke when we got back, and it was really horrific. She's doing amazing. But that one is Venmo. But what I'll do is I'll get her to get me a free ticket because I can travel anywhere in the US for free on Delta. And I will go to California and let's see what we can figure out about what's going on, because I personally think they're lying. I mean, that's me. A lot of people you don't have to agree with me, guys. That is the thing. We don't have to agree, but we do have to discuss it. And when people get upset with me for bringing up things and telling me, oh, you shouldn't be talking about that, that really kind of scares me, because I do think that we need to be talking about it. And I think it's really, really scary when we don't talk about it. And the fact that people won't even open their minds to discuss it kind of scares me a little bit. I'm trying to find PayPal. I don't really remember what it is. I think this is it. I didn't lose my thing, guys. My brain's going somewhere right now, and I'm trying to find something out. Somebody asked me a question. But listen up. I need you guys to start sending out some information to your friends and family. I need to know if people are seeing what I'm seeing, that it's not right. Something is not right now in California. It just isn't. All right. So let's see. I showed you guys that one. What about this? Watch this.
Here we are at Roseville Road, where all the encampments were. This is what they decided to put up so that the unhoused people cannot park anywhere or camp out. This is it. They have all the trailers and everything, and this is what they decided to do.
So my question is, you had that. Okay, so the U.S. Supreme Court, I did this video earlier. I mentioned this case to you guys. They said, okay, cities can arrest people for being homeless. They can fine people for being homeless. They can kick them out for being homeless. Guys, 300,000 people just went homeless on top of what was already there in California. So my question is did they know? Did they know? We have to ask that question. Did somebody tell the Supreme Court, look, we need you to make homelessness illegal, because they knew that inflation was going to get here, that ravaged areas, storms were going to come in and destroy home after home? There's already a housing crisis in California. Where are you going to put all these people? I'm just saying they're going to leave. They're going to have to leave. Yeah, there are no coincidences. I totally agree, Random. That's right. And then I actually heard for some people that are in the California fires, literally emailed me and said, Sam, we can't get into shelters because they're full of illegal aliens. I'm just saying, it's not me saying it. It's the people in the situation saying there's nowhere for us to go.
Right behind me is responsible for many of the rivers and creeks that runs through the South Bay. They tell us that they decided to remove the unhoused population from their waterways, blaming them for much of the pollution and unsafe conditions existing in their waterways.
A lot of these unhoused don't want to be unhoused. They want to be inside.
It was a long meeting over a controversial proposal to ban unhoused people from camping along Santa Clara County's waterways on Tuesday.
I have been threatened, chased, harassed by unhoused campers.
The ordinance ultimately passing 6-1, would slap unhoused people with a misdemeanor charge and a $500 fine if they're caught camping out on Valley Water property.
That's the biggest thing that they're focusing on, but they could enforce it. Yeah.
And now, unhoused advocates are warning the more than 700 unhoused people who live along the waterways.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And then
Unhoused advocate Sean Cartwright walks us through Coyote Creek off Capitol Expressway.
Oh, thank you so much for the gift. Thank you, Stanton. God bless you guys for supporting the work we do here. Because somebody asked me, they said, Sam, what's going on with your farm? I still have it, but it's winter. So I'm not currently planting, and all of my animals are kind of doing this like semi-hibernation. So I've got a lot more time on my hands, guys, than I normally do. But if you were to ask me how many hours a day I spend researching for these videos, probably 8. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a full-time job. It really is.
Communities of Pacific Palisades and Malibu. Here it is, January 7th at 6:17. It was at 2,900 acres. And then on January 8th, that explosion to 15,000 acres. And then the next day, 17,000 acres as it progressed into the mountains. And then on the 9th, 19,000 acres. And you can see how far it had gotten into Malibu. And then we come to yesterday at 20,000 acres. And you can see 20 and then to 21,000 acres. But you see how far across it spread, and all the way up to the 11th, which is today at 22,660 acres.
That's obviously a couple of days ago, but I wanted to show you a comprehensive map of what it kind of looked like.
This year, and I've kind of tried to make this video a few times already, but I just want to say that obviously for this new year, we can see that what's happening and what's in right now in the start of the new year is LA fires and a lot of other climate catastrophes in different states and cities. And what's out is a lot of people of their homes and of their way of maintaining their livelihoods. And it is a really sad and effed up situation. But my problem and my quorum is that this place was already filled with people who didn't have a place to stay and didn't have a way to maintain their livelihood. Our homeless population is really, really high, like through the roof. And I believe that it probably takes up a lot of our Californian population. And it's just really sad and disheartening because I know there's already a lot of people who don't have a home. And I've worked all over, well, not all over, but I worked in a lot of different areas in LA, good areas, bad areas. And I can tell you now, homeless people are everywhere. And I see people sleeping on the sidewalks every single day. And this air is unbreathable right now. This air makes my freaking eyes burn. This air makes my throat hurt. It's bad. And that being said, this is just adding on top of the problem because there's these fires taking people's homes and livelihoods and businesses, adding on top of our already very, very prevalent crisis.
I just thought she was so cute. I had to share her with you guys. Oh, wow. God bless you, Michelle. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. And Gina, that is your 3rd super chat on a live stream. Thank you, sister. I love you guys. I love that y'all support what I do so that I can continue to do it.
Are being destroyed. They're the people who are dying in these fires. The people who don't have the financial means to evacuate. The people who have nowhere to evacuate to. The people who have no way of knowing what resources, if any, are available to them. And LA's government is notoriously hostile to homeless and unhoused people. People who try to sleep outside in LA get fined. They go to jail. They get their shit taken from them. And the number of people who are homeless in LA is about to skyrocket because of these fires. Those are the people you're joking about. Those are the people you're saying deserved it. Getting a new house, finding somewhere to stay is a drop in the bucket for rich people, but that's not the majority of the people who are being impacted by the fires. It's actually never the majority of the people who are being impacted by climate.
Yeah, and I did see something that said that there were, y'all ready for this? 4 billionaires that live in Malibu and over 200,000 millionaires had homes in Malibu. Wow. But yes, Malibu also had homeless people. They lived on the beaches, even though they got harassed a lot. Yeah, they're going to have to get permits. And what they're saying right now is Malibu isn't going to allow it. The Coastal Commission is fixing to do to you guys what they did to Lahaina. It's coming. It's coming.
And how crazy it is that they spent $24 billion last year on the homeless.
Yeah.
And what did they spend on preventing these wildfires?
Zero.
Zip.
And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
Well, the whole state is just so poorly managed. It's so frustrating and confusing. And then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. And you're out of your fucking mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Personally ruined it.
Well, it's the same team that was up in San Francisco, and they came down to LA, and they're doing what they did in San Francisco. And
yeah,
San Francisco is kind of like apocalyptic now,
Yeah,
I went there, and it's just like people, homeless, or, it's a mess.
It's just unbelievable that society can crumble that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable.
It doesn't take long.
No,
it does not.
And how crazy,
folks! Listen to me. It does not take long for everything that you have worked your entire life to be taken from you. If you have never accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, please, today, make time to get to know your Lord. Because guys, if you read your Bible, if you've been in the New Testament, you know that all of this is just warning signs. We're moving out of the church age and into the end times. Your old men are having dreams and your young men are prophesying. That goes for women too, because I know I'm having dreams. I know that the Lord is talking to me every which way. You know what I'm saying? And I know that if God's doing it with me, he's doing it with you too. And I just really want you guys to just buckle down this year, friends. Get right with God. Get straight in with your life, man, because it's coming. The end times, we're walking into it. Our government has become our enemy. And I don't care who tells me that, that's not true. It is. We've let in 30 million illegal aliens, and we're burning some of the most beautiful land in America right now.
oh my God. Straight scenes of the apocalypse, man. That's another gas line. Jesus Christ, man. So much stuff in the air. Look at that, man. Stuff burning everywhere. Look at that, man. House totally burnt to a crisp. Still burning. Basketball court back there. They had a swimming pool. Entire house leveled. Jesus. I can't describe to you what it's like to see this with my own 2 eyes right now.
Oh, thank you, Miss Suzette, for the super chat. God bless you guys. I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. I've told so many people that I know our channel gets shadow banned. I know it's shadow banned. But at the same time, I wouldn't change it because I literally have the best people in the world on my channel. And I firmly believe that. Now, we do have a few more things we need to talk about, and then I have to go cook supper. You guys understand. That's I'm an old-timey wife. I like to feed my husband. Y'all seen him. He a little fluffy. Y'all know what I'm saying? So I'm going to feed him, right? But I wanted to talk to you guys because It said, this lady wrote this January 11th. I found this after I made my video earlier today. I live in California. Before the fires, I saw homeless people everywhere. How did they survive all this madness? And what happened to the homeless? Her name was Elizabeth. It was on, for whatever reason, it's glaring so bad. She's on TikTok. Not TikTok, I'm sorry, X. And you guys, it's true. Where are they? Where are the homeless people?
To do a story about the migrants who are starting fires in the middle of the night to keep warm. Right, I'm in a desert, and when it becomes nighttime, it becomes chilly. So I want to show you within just a few feet, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 fire pits that these migrants have made. There's one right there.
Lahaina.
Actually, 2 right here. And then there's a couple more over there. If you can see what it is like where I'm standing, the terrain around me. I was here last night in the evening time and it was really windy. Got dry, heat, wind. Migrants are starting fires. It is a recipe for disaster. Every summer, California lights up with major forest fires. And we have migrants that are crossing into America illegally and who are trying to get warm at night and starting fires.
Yep.
Yes, this is going on right here.
It's going on right now. That's why I said, I honestly think I need to go to California. I'm really starting to believe that I need to go to California. Something's going on, you guys. And they don't want us to find out.
There was no water to fight this fire in certain places. Does the state have any responsibility in that? Is there more the state can do to make sure it doesn't happen again?
No, that's what I did. That's what the letter's about.
We wrote a letter.
Transparent. I'm not interested in the finger point. I want to know what the hell happened. And would it have mattered? I mean, I'll just be honest about it here. I talked to all my experts, all the firefighters I've been with. They said we could add an engine on every house and 90-mile-an-hour winds. With all the pressure in the world. So you got to be realistic about that as well, but still doesn't make it right. And I want to know.
So let me tell you what he just said. We could have put an engine on every house. We could have had a lot of pressure in our big hoses. Your house would have still burnt down all the time doing this. I would like a drug test for Gavin Newsom, for Governor. You guys know I'm going to call him Governor. I want a drug test. The dude is high. He's high. I don't understand how people don't see it. Maybe because I came out of that life. You know what I'm saying? Like I lived the tweaker life for 10 years. So when I see anybody start doing this or this or this with a big grin on their face in the middle of a fire, the first thing I do is, dude, what are you taking? I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'll admit it. If I'm wrong, if he does a drug test and, he passes, I'll apologize. But I would literally have to administer the test myself to believe it. I'm just saying. Okay, so we also talked about why were they not using salt water to put out the fires? And people are like, well, Sam, if you use salt water to put out the fires, you're going to ruin the land. No, you're not. I'm going to tell you why. Second, it's bad for the equipment. Not as bad as you would think it is.
A pile of rust. This article is out on X. Why firefighters fear saltwater. Saltwater is a harsh mistress laden with salt and minerals. It is an arch nemesis to metals, pumps, and pipes. The corrosive properties of salt can ravage firefighting equipment faster than a California wildfire devours a drought-stricken hillside. Hoses, pumps, and engines subjected to repeated saltwater exposure deteriorate rapidly, leading to costly replacements and potential failures in critical moments. All right, let's talk about what's entirely wrong with that statement. Number one, as part of a rural fire department, we will use water from ponds, from water sources everywhere. We will suck up the most crap you've ever seen. I mean, I have pulled buckets of sand out of our pump after we backflushed it. So is it good for the pump? No, it's not good for the pump, but you're supposed to be fighting fires. Number two, there is no way that this is going to deteriorate your pump faster than a wildfire going up a hill, okay? You're talking about long, protracted issues
And then he goes on to say, and how many of these fire engines are driving over salted roads and it's not destroying the fire engines, right? Second, using salt water to put out a fire is not going to destroy the soil. But do you want to know what will destroy the soil? All the chemicals in that burning house, the plastics, the lithium, the lead, the arsenic, all of that going into your soil will by far destroy it. So guys, that's pretty much all I've got for y'all. Patricia, I fasted yesterday. So Darren said Newsom's new name is Tweak. I agree. I do my fasting in my own ways. And yesterday was the day that I put aside for that. So, second, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to stay on top of the missing people. Like I said, I will add the different ways that you can donate to the channel if you want to. When we close this out, I'll put it up in comments. And at the top of comments, it'll be pinned there for me, the actual direct links. If you want to donate, if we get enough, I'll go to California and do what I did in Maui. I'll go to meetings, I'll record, I'll talk to people, I'll find things out, I'll do lives, and I'll pass out money. But that's up to you guys. Let's all pray about it. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. Love you guys so much. Be blessed. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video. And the one from earlier, we have got to find these missing people. I agree, Chanel. Thousands are probably missing. Yeah.